We're here in Marathon County and with retired dairy grazer Peter Arnold, who spent his whole career running a 220 cow managed dairy operation, and now he's custom raising dairy heifers on well-managed pastures.
You know, how we keep quality, I think, is first of all, we try to start as early as possible, as soon as the ground carries, which start moving them. Sometimes you have to supplement a little bit of hay along with it, or forage, just to make sure we get enough fill in them. That's the first step, and we start moving them as soon as possible. And kind of has to do with weather. If it's dry enough, we might graze a little tighter. If it's wetter, we'll graze a little longer, just to keep moving. We don't want to make damage, but you still want to keep it tight. I know we get a chance to look behind us, kind of what we left. That is not kind of ideal. Maybe it's a lot more than we usually do, leaf residue, but anyway, you kind of see here, we can come back here 3 weeks later and still have a good feed quality back for our heifers. What we cannot reach with the heifers in the first round, we probably skip and do mechanically harvesting in about a week or 10 days, just to get it all cleaned up. We do some clipping if we need to, especially if we run into some weed issues. Usually we shouldn't have to, especially with heifers. We can tighten them down. We take our first crop off, sometimes here in June. Sometimes we come in and take some second crop off in July, but pretty much nothing off the 1st of August we can. Off the 1st of August we let it grow. We try to get as many acres as possible to grow then. Anything beyond there we can stockpile, and that's when we really start metering it out and make sure we can make it as far as possible. If the weather is good, if it's not too wet, we can tighten it down. Granted, our rotation of course starts lengthening then. You know, when we get to the August, September time frame, we're running 6 to 8 weeks because we just let it grow. Sure. We can stockpile this. Now, if we would be milking cows, that would be a different story. I'm talking mainly heifers here. Early spring if we got available, otherwise in July we'll use SO4 and we add boron to it. And I found that really helps with the legumes. You got the sulfur and the boron is short-lived, so we like to top dress that. That gives it another kickstart, especially the late summer. Helps with the rust. We come in with the sulfur, it kind of suppresses it, I guess. We have pretty good luck with that. Bare ground, I mean, you got winter kill. The bottom, obviously it floods out, ice. Like last fall, we were running in a stretch in October where we had that early snowfall. We couldn't get the water out there. We plucked up some pasture. There's about 15 acres on the other side of the hill. We knew come spring we got to work with it. So that's the places we're going to be doing that. We don't want bare soil. Ideal is 1/3 of the farm, but some springs you get out here and you got over half the farm, you got big holes. Well, we got to fill them. Bare dirt, what's going to happen? We get weed, less production. So if we got bare soil, we come in a seed, either we use a ryegrass or a FESTULOLIUM and mix in about 8 pounds of red clover, maybe a pound of white. We got to put something in it, you know, something they like. Ryegrass is easy to establish, comes fast. What I like about the ryegrass, Italian, it's kind of creeps in the early spring, summer, where I call it the quackgrass, is aggressive. Quackgrass starts slowing down, ryegrass starts taking off, and actually them two mix pretty good. We had really good luck with it. Not too expensive and good quality. And the good thing is the Italian ryegrass, it doesn't want to go dormant in the fall. So as soon as you get over that 32 degrees, it still grows. It's almost like a rye. Depends kind of what my time and ground condition. If it's wet, I want to move them daily. If it's a little drier, ground carries good, we can go by every 2 days. Why would we move them more when it's wet? Because the chances are they're going to damage an area, so we can just, they're going to come back in the same place. They've got 2 days to damage the same area. So this way we can keep ahead, less damage. We can control easier how much, you know, the refusal we got. If it's drier, we maybe can go every 2 days. Late in the fall, maybe 3-4 days. We can make the breaks bigger. Bottom line is it grows fast. We move it more often because I feel like this time of year what we can grow in what one day takes us a week in October. So if we got regrowth, we're going to regraze right away. That's to me lost time of regrowth. So we want to keep ahead of it. I would say that's a good place to start. Set yourself up a training area. For example, when we had the dairy farm, we had a smaller area. We had 6 wires in it. It was pretty bulletproof, so you turn them out, they stay there, you gotta learn the fence. After a while, you use the poly wire in and just get them used to it. They're gonna get spooked a few times, they get zapped, and from there on, they get to learn to move, and the wire gets moved, to respect the wire, and then you can do pretty much anything with it. And you know, I always feel like the day you don't have to scrape or haul feed to them, I mean, that's a win. And there's so many acres around the farm, that type of animal, it's actually a perfect fit. On our old farm, we had like 50 acres, I call it, some of the lower land. But I always felt like it was on for more profitable acres because we never had to fertilize it, we never had to seed it, and every spring it came. But we had to manage it. It was some wetter spots, drier spots, time of year, how moisture was and all that good stuff. We kind of had to manage to it, but I always felt like we grew a fairly inexpensive heifer and a healthy heifer.